What's up, creeps? It's Jason, aka the Pope of Pain, and we're back for another Mass Morgue with my man Riley, rigor mortis mass. There we go. The camera comes right to me because I can't get this freaking thing to work right. But here we go. Look at this. Riley, hey,
okay, here I am.
Hey, there you guys go. Back at rigor mortis mass. Back for another Mask Morgue and another Don Post classic. I'm gonna call it, man. You know what I'm saying? So pretty stoked because I am not really familiar with this mask. I had to do some deep diving, and it's not one you see a lot of.
I haven't,
yeah. But let's get into it, man. Let's talk about the Don Post, the 1987 Don Post Herman.
Yeah.
The other Herman.
It's gonna throw other people
it's
off.
It's gonna screw, because when you told me like I'm getting a Herman mask, I'm immediately going, whoa. First off, I remember the old school Don Post. I'm like, that doesn't exist unless it's a pull from an OG mold or something.
Right.
But we're thinking about the monsters.
Right.
This is not the monsters.
Not even. It's
not.
Just shares a name.
Shares a name, which is pretty wild. And I wonder them doing this back in 1987, or whenever, in 86, when they probably sculpted and started putting this thing in production. Was this a trick?
Yeah,
right?
like a bootleg Herman, possibly.
Let's call him Herman, so
maybe people will buy it.
Maybe fool people, right?
He's smirking like Herman, so I mean,
he is smirking like
he's a reanimated corpse of some sort. So
yeah, absolutely. So
I see the resemblance.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this because once again, not a lot out there about this mask and all this stuff. It's cool that you grabbed a copy, man. But so this is from, like I said, the 1987 Don Post. If you look at the 87 Don Post catalog, it's the first appearance. Even though some people said this was an 86, I couldn't find anything about it.
No proof.
1986.
I see what I believe.
And
we're going 87.
Right, yeah. If you go to 86 catalog, you ain't going to see it. But the 87 catalog has the 1000 series, which I love, is the handcrafted series.
Which all of them are.
I'm like, who made the other 800 line, or who made all the other lines, or 900 line? Because it is robots or now this is handcrafted. But I love the marketing techniques, and this is why you do it in business as an entrepreneur. You do what you can do to really get that sale. You know what I'm saying? So let's make this handcrafted, right?
Ooh.
And if you look at the other handcrafted one, you had like the 8-man, or you had some, I can't remember the other ones. You had a bunch, maybe about 5 or 6 different 1000 lines and all that stuff. And then whatever, you know what I'm saying? I always didn't understand some of these lines, but it's a really cool mask, man. Cause, you got some cool info on this thing as well, on how it was sculpted and who it was sculpted and all the history behind this thing. But, I'm actually super digging this thing the more I look at it. And so get into it real quick, Riley. Tell everybody what we need to know about this mask, and then I'm going to give my personal thoughts about this thing. This smirking fucking Frankenstein.
Yeah, this smirking ghoul.
Yes.
So if anyone knows anything about Don Post long enough, you would obviously know Rob and Kathy Tharp, couple that worked at Don Post Studios. It still made pieces up until recently, until they retired. Rob Tharp actually sculpted this guy using clay pressings of the Pat Newman Boris Karloff Frankenstein.
Cool.
And so it does share a kind of striking resemblance, like the brow and whatnot, to obviously Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
And he's got a bit of like a phantom nose going on. So it's like,
I noticed that, right? He has that upturned nose, which is pretty rad, if you ask me, right? And it's not only does it upturned nose, it also looks like he's like, that dude's been in a couple of fights.
Right.
And he's got a nice little like smashed out boxer nose. Right.
Yeah. So, if I'm looking at it from the side here, and it just looks like a broken nose.
It does, man.
And it's just an interesting design, kind of a reanimated corpse. And I like the little mutton chops he's got going on, kind of punk.
This is I kind of like, it's like a punk rock Frankenstein / corpse mix, right? Because I say punk rock because he's got that smirk on him, right? That little shit-eating grin that he has, which I love how they put it in there. But then you see like the sideburns or the mutton chop or whatever they call those. I don't know, fucking.
I don't know. My dad had him before he was married.
Oh, really? So, okay, yeah. Right? And but he has like a Misfits feel, right? I could see this in an old Misfits ad somewhere from the the 70s or something like that, early 80s or something, right? But and I think that's why I am attracted to this mask more than anything, because it just does it has that look, man, and the sculpt on it's just fun, super fun, man.
And it's funny too, because initially it was sculpted in with a dead eye, but in order to get better vision, they cut him out, and so Aaron D. Lewis, sculptor, went ahead and recreated it on his copy, which we'll throw a photo up. and it looks really cool either way.
So that was okay, and I saw this photo, and like I said, we'll try to do some editing magic and push it up. But so that was an OG copy that Aaron took, and he actually sculpted in an eye, or was this a full on resculpt?
Oh no, yeah, he had to put in like the fake eye. And
that's cool.
So yeah, it was pretty cool that he did that. Tried to recreate that image.
Because the dead eye, they had it originally, but then it was like kids are probably getting hit by cars, and all that shit. So they probably cut out one of the eyes so they can get better.
Don Post didn't have the money to get sued, so
no shit.
They went through financial hardships and whatnot.
Yeah,
and so
it's so funny because like this thing came out. Now I'm trying to think about it. This thing came out. This is how old I am. I was 87. Damn, I was in ninth grade.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I am the premier customer. This is my era right here. I will be buying this one. Too bad I was broke as shit and I couldn't afford a Don Post mask.
Right.
So I was more of a Topstone guy. Right. Or a Ben Cooper crappy mask guy. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of cool though. But I can see as being a 80s skate punk. You
can see the attraction.
Yeah, because that's what I like right here, man. This thing will be just one of those punk rock masks that you wear out on Halloween, or not even Halloween. Just go
when you're
screw
stealing
with your friends.
Candy from middle schoolers, when you're a big ninth grader.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, it's funny. The first time I actually saw this mask wasn't in a catalog or on YouTube because I've actually never seen anyone cover this mask before.
No.
And what's interesting is my mom actually showed me "Are You Afraid of the Dark," the old '90s Nickelodeon kind of Goosebumps series, And I remember the episode "The Tale of Laughing in the Dark," as some of you may know, Zebo the Clown, which is also a Don Post wacko, another mask. I'll try and find one of those someday.
Yeah.
One of the dummies in the spook house in that episode was actually wearing one of these, and it makes like a really dumb noise. It's like, but I remember seeing that mask and I was like, oh, I really like that mask. And I remember one day just scrolling through catalogs, because I didn't live in a day and age where I had catalogs, so I'm scrolling through them.
Sure.
And I remember seeing that mask, and I was like, no way, that's Herman from Are You Afraid of the Dark? And so it kind of had like a little bit of sentiment to me because Are You Afraid of the Dark was kind of a big part of my childhood. It's same with Goosebumps and Tales from the Crypt, every horror anthology series, all of that, Creep Show.
Sure.
And so I saw the mask and saw it on eBay one day, and I was like, oh man, I know this bid's gonna go crazy, and luckily I got it for a good price. But
that's which is shocking to me too, because like I said, something like this doesn't come up all the time. So I guess
condition too,
And that's something that I laugh because as soon as you gave it to me, like check this mask, I'm like, it's so soft and pliable. The two words you always see in every.
We sound like such nerds,
but it is. It's the latex is still good on it, man.
Still nice and floppy.
Yeah, and, fun paint job on it too.
Still squishy. So that's cool.
I've seen like you see these production copies in magazines. Once again, this is the only physical copy I've seen, and sometimes I see like the scarring, a little bit more deep red. But once again, this is also a mask that's 35. My mask sucks.
Right, almost 40 years old.
40 years old. Yeah, so
37, I think.
Great condition. There's no rot on this. I couldn't find any.
And that's the craziest thing too, is because I was working later that day and I had to race home to get this guy, and he was sitting on my porch for about 2 hours on a 115-degree day.
Oh no.
I opened the box, and when you buy a mask from 1987, you're expecting some hard spots or maybe some minor rot or cracking or some fraying of the neck. Dude, I opened this and I was like, dude, no way. And I got it for such a good price, and I'm feeling up on the mask and stuff. And man, this thing is like brand new. I mean, of course, paint is slightly faded, but the paint varies on these copies, right? I've seen some that are kind of like a Dijon mustard yellow. Seen some pale ones. I've seen more blue ones. So, I think mine's a happy medium. It's kind of like that olive gray color, so I definitely dig it, and
hopefully it shows with the light we got going on here,
right
and all that
Hope
stuff.
We're doing it old Herman some justice.
I think so too. So okay, well let's talk price, dude. What this thing once again, we do this scenario if I'm jumping on eBay looking for something like this, what is a ballpark that I'm going to get for Herman here?
And I'll say with the current market, because I did this only a few weeks ago, I was bidding on this guy, and he only ended up being about $200. And I was actually really shocked by that, because you don't see many of this mask, and I feel like the masks you don't see as often are the ones you're gonna want, And I thought there were like 30 watchers on this thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. And I was bidding against like 5 guys, and I just threw in a high reserve, and I got it for $200, and I was like, hey, I'm happy.
That's great.
Yeah. Should have been a little more active in my dinner with my family on my birthday, but instead I'm bidding on masks on eBay because you can't
Well,
fight passion.
And that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I want to bring this up. This kind of finish out the show with.
Right.
Well, first off, I want to welcome a new collector to the world, right? And he's been a long time friend of the store and all this stuff. John Gonzalez out there. You'll see him commenting all the time, guys. But he hit me up one day. And he goes, "I think I've been watching your guys' video. I think I'm going to dive into the mask world." And I'm like, "Uh-oh. That's a big hole. That's a big rabbit hole.
Sorry for your loss.
You ready to step into.
Right.
And that's something I love about, collecting. People ask me all the time, why do you collect masks, right? It's a piece of rubber that's going to eventually wilt away and die, right? And all this stuff. And you're correct. But I treat these things, and this is me thinking out loud, but as kind of the same way you're collecting paintings, right? Like you want to get a Picasso or a Dali or a Warhol, I treat that as a Topstone, you know what I'm saying? A Be Something Studios or a Dom Post, because these are works of art, guys. Right. This is what I walk home. I have nothing. You go to my house.
Right.
It's fucking weird, man. There is nothing on my walls, right? Maybe a clock. I don't even know.
You wouldn't know our fan lived there.
Yeah. Right. But there's
family
masks.
Photos, right.
There is masks. And these are my works of art. This is how I decorate. Right. Well, I can't do the whole house. An old lady didn't have them. Right. But anyway, we know what I'm talking about.
Confined.
My area there, right? I think every guy needs, or every collector needs a pit. Yes, right. And these are, like I said, these are works of art. These are sculpts. These are something that someone has taken their time, just like a painter would take a time on a painting in this. It's the same thing.
And when these artists are gone, this is all we're gonna have to remember them. So.
Perfect. Yeah, great example. I mean, and I don't think it matters what you collect, right? People, if you look at, this guy's collecting tots at Trick Street Studios, right? Okay, I guarantee back in the 70s, someone was laughing at somebody who was collecting, Topstone.
Right,
look at they're collecting these cheap Topstone masks. Now I'm killing
because
people
that would
for
be
it.
Technically like main produced or mainstream, but
correct.
Sooner or later everything's going to become a collector's item when these companies have come and gone. So
absolutely. So
nothing's forever.
Yeah. So no matter what you collect out there, guys. I mean, if you are a mask collector, but I know everybody kind of picks a line. Well, some people will go all over the place. Right. I'm one of those guys. I just like independent collectors. I like a little bit of Don Post, a little bit of Topstone, but there are some people like our good friend Zeke.
Right.
Right.
DS to the grave.
This guy, man, Seymour Horror. If you guys follow Seymour Horror, see if I can pop up his thing here on Instagram. And this guy is a Death Studios ninja.
I got to go see his lair the other day, and holy cow, when the door opened, the latex rubber punched me in the face.
It's crazy, dude.
His collection is insane, and it's nothing but passion. So whatever you collect, go for it. Whatever it fills the happiness in your life, go for it, because I mean, this is what makes us sleep at night.
It totally, it makes me happy. I wake up and I see all these weird creatures looking at me, and I know the time and effort and the decades behind these things, and it's rad, man. And we're doing our part to preserve a little bit of this, because it is latex and it will die, But guess what? We will die too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if we can pass his legacy on doing these small videos like this that no one really watches, but it doesn't matter.
And hey, maybe a collector will come out of it,
Absolutely. And that's why I wanted to jump back to John. He's starting his collection now. He just grabbed the VXX book and all this stuff. And I was like, oh man, that's like crack. Get ready.
Those are the Bibles.
Yeah. So it's pretty awesome. And we welcome any collector, especially if you guys come by the store, see our stuff, what we got going on, and or just watch our videos if you're not anywhere near Arizona and all that stuff. But anyway, all right, great mask, dude. Cool. Bring this in. It's once again, it's a piece of Don Post history that you don't see a lot of, man, which is awesome. So I'm pretty stoked that you once again you brought this guy in and shared it with all you weirdos out there, all you mask nerds out there, right? Fellow mask nerds, right? So
respect.
Yeah. So all right, guys, that was it, and we're gonna go ahead and close the Mask Morgue door.